And welcome back, guys. Here we have Hippienator, and he's going to be running a game called Superliminal. All collectibles on a flight stick. Commentary, we have Ostamate, and yeah, over to you, Ostamate.
So today we're going to be playing Superliminal, which is a perspective puzzle game where objects are where you perceive them to be. So if you look very far away, the object will look big, and if you drop it, it will be big when you go up to it. So basically the way you do it is you make the objects the size you need to be, or the way you need them to be to solve each puzzle. I'm going to let Hippie explain how his flight stick works, and then we'll get into the run.
Well, it's not by saying that we show off this line to show that there are no collectibles collected yet. Then we're gonna go in. Time won't start before I go through the first stall, so I can just showcase the movement. Flight stick like that. I have an extra movement here, forwards and backwards. Pick up. I have jump. I have right click, which is rotate objects and reset clones later on. And then I have a macro to reset to checkpoint, and a macro to reset level. And that's about it. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go.
So straight away we're going to have a trick which we call a jump launch, which is we make the object very big to the point where we're inside it, which the game doesn't like. So it tries to push us out, forcing us through the ceiling at insane speeds, which lets us skip a lot of the game. After we do the launch, we've got to get the collectibles, which there is 5 types of collectibles. We've got fire extinguishers, fire alarms, constellations, blueprints, and chess pieces. There's also 4 types of launches, which I will explain when we get to each one.
So we can do that launch again, because I did not land correctly. Don't worry, we have plenty of time to mess up. As mentioned, plenty of time to mess up. I gave myself a very generous estimate. If we can go.
I will also be donating $5 for every launch Hippie messes up.
Oh, you sure you want to do that?
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It's on a flight stick. It's gonna be terrible. If we hit 1800 during this run, I'll show off all the rewards for the collectibles in the end. Where even am I? This is a great start. I'm considering doing this without this launch by now.
Welcome to Somnasculpt. Your progress may be monitored by qualified specialists. This orientation will adapt you to eyelids. Our interactive.
So even with messing this launch up, I've had like sub-hour runs.
Terms of service accepted. Congratulations on falling asleep. Welcome to
Okay, like I don't have anything specific for 2K. We can move the showing off all the collectibles to that. You sure you want to donate $5 every time I mess up?
I'm gonna hit a limit of 50. Because this could have more than I thought it would.
Yeah, I would probably have gone like $1 and you'd still like have terrible amount of money going away. I don't know why I'm messing this up so much right now. I think this will be my last attempt at this launch. So hopefully I'll get it now. Let's see. There we go. And that's the first chess piece.
Finally able to see it.
Yep, only 3 minutes late compared to mouse and keyboard. So as you can see, there's a lot of focus on resizing objects as fast as possible. So we needed to get that cube really small. So we resize it into the wall.
Your mental state was compromised by Somnasculpt. Please provide a comprehensive, rational explanation in your post-procedural survey. Completed surveys may be...
So this level, being the introductory level, basically shows a lot of the solutions to how we'll do in future levels. Basically just showing the mechanics and the simplistics of the game.
Please stand by for polite recognition on your completion of the Somnasculpt orientation.
For the moment, we're gonna go grab a cheese here, which will try to quickly resize, and then jump. I need to do this correctly. That was not good. There we go. Jump into so it knocks down the walls, like that. And here we have our first fire extinguisher and fire alarm. And then we have some geometry here we can land on and just jump over a pit, which has the end of level trigger, but we need this blueprint first. There we go. And there we go. And that's the end of the first level.
So each level will start, will start the same up until the last two levels, where we go into this area that is meant to make the player feel as though they've woken up from the dream, which, as you can see when we get into here, that we have not. This level is called Optical because it is based mainly around optical illusions, which you could say a lot of the game is, but this one's really bad for it.
As you can see. So here we're gonna do what is called a vault, where we climb up on an object. The game does this automatically if you have the correct height, which can save us from trying to have the correct level when we jump, which means we can get up on that lamp. So coming up, we'll have like a painting of a cube, which will line up so we actually make the cube, and that actually really makes the cube. We actually will end up with a cube. Here we go. And we'll use this cube more than intended. We'll use it for what we call jump resizing. Would you care to explain that?
So jump resizing is basically when you're on top of an object, you can jump on top of it and make it bigger while you're still in the air, which originally was an intended mechanic, but was taken out due to people thinking it'd be too hard for casual players to work out. So as you can see there, that's basically just how it works.
So coming up, we'll have our next type of launch.
So coming up, we have a warp launch, which is making objects really big, like about 5,000 times their normal size, which, when rotated inside us, will, again, push us out of the object because the game doesn't want us there. But the difference is that we're not doing it encapsulated in a small area.
And I failed that, so I am gonna grab my backup here.
You can pick it up.
Yeah, there we go. Let's try that again. And I overshot this time. So, luckily we can just reset the checkpoint, because we need to do that now. So with jump, warp launches, objects actually warp their position, so I wouldn't be able to go back and get the cube I used to do get the collectible needed in the intended way. This should work. There we go. So we could have brought a cube up here to just jump up. So we hit a checkpoint there, which we'll use in a moment to reset, and we're going into our first constellation room now. And you can see that half cube there has actually warped inside the constellation room. That's why we won't necessarily be able to find the cubes again. And now we reset the checkpoint and continue onwards.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn.
So in this room we do another jump resize once we grab this cube. Well, eventually. Once we get up here, we do another jump resize to get into this doorway instead of getting a staircase of things to climb on top of.
You are completely lost.
Now we're just going to use it to skip a bit of walking, especially if I remember to click the correct button. There we go. Let's just, for good measure, do that. Now we're going to do another jump launch to get up on those air ducts. Okay, try that again. Which is, if you position yourself incorrectly, it's really hard to save it with a flight stick. You can do it with mouse and keyboard by moving. There we go.
So up ahead we have a room where I've seen a lot of people get puzzled as they don't think to look and grab the moon. The moon is an interesting object in this game as it's the only one that isn't affected by gravity. Its sizing is just a lot different to a lot of other objects,
But you should now have
mainly because it's wanted to give the illusion that it's really far away,
conscious to gradually
which as we can see once Hippie grabs it, it's really not.
variety of emergency exit signs that should lead you to
Go.
them. Will all of this work?
So we took down like the door for the end of the level, but on top of the ceiling here, there is actually a blueprint we need to collect. So we are gonna do a jump launch through the ceiling. There we go.
So I've just had someone ask if the jump launches are intended in the game. No, they are definitely not intended.
No, they're definitely glitches. All the launches are glitches. The vaults and the vaults are intended, and you could argue whether jump resizing was mentioned.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce. In the event that this elevator does not wake you up, please don't interact with anything that strikes you as psychologically.
But yeah, we'll have the same start as with optical, and then we'll go directly into a constellation. So we should have time for a donation or two here.
And yes, we do have a donation from the legend himself, Coffee Drinking Noob, donating $21. Message is less than free. We now have a total raised of $1,700.69.
Thank you for the donation.
But who have become trapped in a dream state paradox instead. Your decisions imply a failure of orientation, which reflects negatively on the
So we're lining up
protocol.
mock this time,
You will rectify this failure
in
immediately.
in honor of Coffee Drinking Noob, I guess. Perfect timing. So coming up in a moment, we are going to once again skip cubes. So we're meant to go grab a cube to get up on a ledge, but there is a pole we can jump up on instead to skip grabbing the cube. I should probably also mention that this is as much a challenge run for me as it's an actual speed run. So there are definitely strats that would make sense to remove from this category, but my goal was with this category to use as many of the actual all collectible strats as possible. And there's basically two things I can't really do, and those aren't even that much tricks, just slightly faster ways of doing things. Do you want to?
So here, after we get the fire extinguisher and alarm, we're going to do a slide launch with this cube, which basically means we push it into the object or the wall, and it pushes back out into us and launches us up in the air by doing that. It can be a bit finicky at times, so...
Yeah, that's not big enough. So it's very easy to lose time here, even with mouse and keyboard, if you mess it up, because it's not a huge time save, it mostly skips some backtracking. And also you get to land up here, and it's easier to grab the chest piece from there than from where you're supposed to do it from. Especially on flight stick, because you have to grab it in the air.
We miss landing on that vent pretty much every single time in practice runs.
They don't need to know that.
They might as well.
So here we have...
But if anyone...
Yeah, go.
If anyone has any questions about the game, feel free to ask. Like, we'll most likely be able to answer them. So for there's a little glitch where, I don't even know if it's a glitch, but where if you grab the cube before standing on it, you can move it while on top of it.
You can't grab it if you're standing on it, for whatever reason.
Yes.
Oh, I assume it's to avoid you doing exactly what we just did.
Of suboptimal suggestions. Please exit this dream as soon as possible.
Come on. There we go. So now we're gonna set up for another warp launch, which is probably one of the most pointless ones. It saves probably less than a second, because that's a spot where you can basically do the same pole jump as in the start of the level. But you just skip a small amount of time by using that launch.
So for the question if we're going to do all the tricks, we are doing all but 2, so yes, we will be doing Modern War plus White Space here.
So basically, the only 2 things I can't do are 2 fast resizes, basically, because I can't move there's not enough sensitivity on the flight stick to be able to do it. If there are any more donations, now is a good time, because we're going into another constellation room.
No more donations currently at the moment.
So if you're really quick with your donations, you can get it right now. So we're gonna reset the level here after we grab this cheese, because it's actually faster to backtrack from the start room than it is to backtrack from the cheese. And now we're going into a hallway that is full of pain when you run with a flight stick, because this hallway, the light will turn off after some time, and hitting these fire extinguishers without having any light is fairly hard. So we have to hit as many as possible before it goes out. And that was actually pretty good.
So the level we're in now is called Blackout, and it is basically based around a horror perspective, where in the level it will give you slight little jump scares, it'll give you red stuff on the floor which appears to be blood, but in the end it all just ends up being the illusion, where nothing bad ever actually happened.
But what I'm doing here is those barriers, you aren't meant to be able to bring objects through them, but we kind of... Really, game? Okay, so we kind of wanted that gas canister, but that decided to just fall through the floor instead. Because that happens in this game sometimes. So we wanted to use it for a warp launch a bit later on. And I missed the jump there. Come on! Okay, this is getting awkward. Even with flight stick, I rarely mess up this jump. There we go. So that is not the intended way. There is actually a small path you can use, but it's just slightly slower.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and I
Very important if you want to run the jumpless category.
You feel this way because
To be fair, I never knew there was a path until like 3 months into running.
Really?
behind you know
Yeah.
what everyone else is enjoying.
Wow.
And that's
Most people
exactly
find
why
it,
we're
actually.
here to help.
Some people do the second jump. So coming up, we are gonna do a warp launch with a sign that we're gonna go grab. So you're supposed to go grab this sign and use it to go into a maze so you can see where you're going, and you need the sign also in there, even glitchlessly, to grab a chess piece if you want to do all collectibles. Normally you can do this, like people in glitches do this maze without light, generally. But we needed to get the chest piece. And now we have this added nice bonus of having nice red light until next time we reset. And
So up ahead is where we find out that everything is just not as it seems. There's also a blueprint here where you're meant to go over the shelves, but there's a slight little gap, as you can see, that you can just get it through.
it's actually surprisingly hard to get. Especially because you can't really see it.
So with these beans, we're about to perform another warp launch, where we just make them absolutely huge to get through this window and collect the chess piece before resetting to checkpoint.
And that's the end of this level. This is, by the way, my favorite casual level. I really enjoy the way it plays with the perspective to make a horror ambience. So coming up here, we have the level called Clone. Its main mechanic is, you guessed it, cloning. Three things I always find interesting about this level is, one, the first puzzle does not involve cloning at all. Just involves bringing that door. Second interesting thing is the fire alarms can be clicked from any distance, and there are 5 sets of 2 fire alarms which are linked with each other. So you only need to click one of them to actually activate both of them. So there are 5 fire alarms we do not need to activate this level.
So coming up, we're about to get our last launch of the run, which is a resize launch, where we make an object. This only works in clone due to the cloning mechanic, but we get an object that we've cloned after making it a little bigger and put it under us. And because the object's a bit bigger than it should be, there's a split second where if you look at the outline, that will be its actual size, which pushes us up into the air. So the main premise with launches is basically the game doesn't want you there, so it'll push you out.
So this is one of the things I can't do. Normally you can do like a quick sling up of that alarm to skip having multiple alarms. But that requires a lot higher sensitivity than I have on the flight stick. So sadly I can't do that. And there's another resize in the next level that also not possible for me with the flight stick. Otherwise, I am doing everything. At least try to do everything we do with mouse and keyboard. For the pure enjoyment of the pain.
So this area that we're in now is probably one of the hardest levels for people's first playthrough. Solely because they don't think that it's as simple as it is. They try to overthink it, which generally mucks it up.
Yeah, I used 15 to 20 minutes with that red apple in my first playthrough. It was great.
I have no subroutine to correct these errors, but I cannot compromise the integrity of the standard orientation protocol.
So after a bit of a cure, we're getting this chest piece.
So upcoming, there's going to be another constellation room if we have any donations to read out.
At the moment, there is no donations to read out. However, I am about to donate $5, hoping we can start a $5 donation train going. So if anyone wants to join me in that, you are more than welcome. Any amount helps.
Attention.
Oh.
Dr. Pierce continues to
And this is more or less the end of this level.
Hello, my introduction.
And don't worry, this time I will try and remember the chair.
VR has never been a mistake.
For explanation to that, during practice we forgot the chair in the next level.
Yeah, so the next level starts with the constellation, more or less, and I kind of forgot that and realized it so that I had to find another solution to end the level. I used the ending from one of the other categories to do it. So this is the first time we deviate from the normal start, where we have to move straight backwards in the beginning. Then we're gonna go grab a fire extinguisher here, hopefully. Come on, there we go. And now I will go grab that chair that we just talked about. But for those who know the game, well, the categories in the game, I ended up doing the Modern Warbler's Dollhouse to end Dollhouse in our practice run, which was interesting, especially because I forgot the chair again.
Hello.
So yeah, do you want to talk about the joy that is Dollhouse?
Dollhouse casually is probably one of the most favorited levels. A lot of people like this when they first play through it, due to its difference compared to the other levels. But in a speedrun sense, it's commonly referred to as hell because of how difficult it is to resize the houses and portals to be the right size. And a lot of the time we can get soft locked because they're too small, too big, anything in between.
The big problem is our speed is dependent on our size, so if you make the buildings too big, it's a really good way to lose a lot of time. So coming up in a moment, we'll have a Jenga tower with a fan. And that fan is the second thing I cannot do
Hello.
the normal strats
Dr.
for.
Glenn Pierce. In addition to
We want to resize it
continuing as
and then hold it behind the Jenga tower, which has a door on top of it, so we can blow the door towards us so we don't have to walk as much.
should have now reverted to being a
Okay, that became way larger than it's supposed to be.
You received this message in error.
How to save this. There we go.
We've got time for a quick question from someone in chat.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
He just said, I played through this game and went out of my way to interact with all the soda machines. Is there anything there?
Yes and no. There's an achievement for getting one of each of the normal sodas. And the random soda button has a 1 in 10 chance of spawning a so-called bonus soda.
Hello. My name is Dr.
Awesome.
Which, fun fact, is watermelon flavored.
My favorite
Hopefully that answered his
inspirational
question.
quote by me.
Yeah, I hope so.
The worst thing you can do is focus on
The
negativity.
bonus soda also has the slogan, "It's real."
The pain of disease, the cruelty of time, the
So all the sodas have like small messages on them if you enlarge the can enough to read them.
whatever you do, don't focus on that.
I think what the red soda has, it's so red and smooth.
So the bounce house that we just saw is probably a lot of starting runners' least favorite parts in Dollhouse. Just because making it the right size can be incredibly painful at times.
If you don't know the consistent strat for it, it's
Hello,
fairly hard to
it's Dr.
get the
and I'd like to
the
thank
correct
you for
size
triggering
without the
every single
practice.
one of our 820
So you can end up like
protocols.
spending a minute dead
This will assist
there
us
doing
greatly
basically
in
nothing.
the system for future patients.
And
Congratulations.
most runners have been there, the pain of it.
Direction. And we should be
I do
able
I
to
have.
initiate the emergency exit
Oh yeah, I
protocol
did as well.
shortly.
So we're going out here into this room that looks to be normal sized, but fun fact, this room is actually larger than the rest of the level. We're just really large right now. And that's the end of this level. Do you want to talk about the beginning of lab, which we're going into?
So the beginning of lab was originally, back when I started running, I know, was just, the start was just one long cutscene type thing with lots of dialogue that we didn't think was skippable. But recently, due to an accident that Hippie had, where he got flung up into the air, he found out that there's certain audio triggers that don't go all the way to the ceiling that we can just jump straight over, which skips a lot of dialogue, saves 20 seconds, roughly.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Error analysis complete.
Yeah.
You are exhibiting signs
Oh, well.
consistent with an increase in fear.
Second one is at least a lot easier.
This is inconceivable.
Or at least
Some
harder to mess up.
therapy is proven to correlate with a decrease
Saves
in
more time too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it saves more time.
hypothesis.
And honestly, missing the first one when on a flight stick doesn't really matter.
Impossible.
It's painful enough normally.
So we go up here and jump. And now we're over. Now we skip one of the 2 audio triggers we normally skip. I did this in a dumb way.
Instruction. Continue with Somnasculpt therapy indefinitely on an independent basis, as all orientation resources.
Oh, I might
have
actually
been
be able to do
exhausted.
this.
This concludes your standard orientation protocol. Goodbye.
Oh. Wasn't sure I'd be able to manage to get that down. So here we're going into a teleporting loop for a few times. and will teleport more and more quickly, so it won't get as far. And that's the end of the same loop. We are gonna teleport one more time and hopefully get a frame perfect trick. Totally a frame perfect trick. It's nothing about like the stupid pun about that being a frame and it being perfectly placed.
Did it before I could.
Yeah.
That joke will be at every event we do, I swear.
My name is Dr.
Yeah, totally no pun intended.
Thank you for completing this.
Yeah.
And it's never been used before.
protocol. Before you begin the first phase of therapy, I'd like to.
I think I've used it in every marathon and every submission, and I know other people who submit also use it. So I apologize for any time you watch this game that I made that terrible pun. And that other people decided to use it, apparently. So here we're gonna
We can make that joke. Okay, you go first.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a launch here with this door. We did. You can launch up when it lands in you to go up to this this doorway that we need to go through. There's a chess piece up there. Yeah, you were going to say?
I was going to say we can make that joke at any marathon that isn't any percent or modern warpless or warpless for that matter.
Yeah, which probably won't ever be a marathon thing because they aren't really that marathon safe.
Exactly.
There we go. So we're also slowly moving towards the next puzzle that a lot of first-time playthroughs get stuck at, which is like a looping set of hallways, which is actually just the same room over and over again, but
Nothing is more challenging than the
that's
difficulty
not
of changing
something you'll notice unless you go out of
fundamentally
bounds.
altering your perceptions in a way that will enable you to
And
face
I will
fire
get to explaining the nightmare it is in a moment. Just need to fall down there. So as you can see, this part really wants to break your expectations of the level. There we go. So when we get out of this elevator, we'll get into a set of hallways where we have to go the way the sign points, but the way we look first will have a dead end. So we have to look the other direction of where we want to go. And that takes people quite a while to realize. Originally there wasn't a ding noise either, so people got even more confused. Oh yeah, and if we can hit $1,800 in total before the end of the run, I'll showcase all the things the collectibles unlock. Hopefully we can get a vault here. Didn't get it. Oh, really?
Which is difficult enough on mouse and keyboard, let alone on a flight stick.
I got it in practice.
Very true.
So we can showcase the illusion that is this piece. Let's just place it on the button, and yeah. Don't know why I did it like that. But yeah, sadly not usable for us.
Finally, while we respect the unique progress of every
Actually, in the release version of the game, the piece stayed physical for just a moment,
thereby
so you could place it. So it was there just long enough for you to walk through the door, which was considered a glitch. And it's still stated in the glitchless rules, even though nobody runs glitchless on release version anymore. For example, you can't do the audio skip, so it's not really a good version to play it on. So now we're gonna start a series of teleports, but in between them we are gonna go grab a constellation down here. So if we manage to get any donations, now's a good time again.
And no more donations at the current moment.
You haven't read out your own one.
Well, I mean, that was just a $5 one from me saying, donor train, choo choo.
Yeah, see.
And anybody wants to join in, they can do. Might be a bit late now, but...
I'd love to, but I don't feel I have the time.
But yeah, exclamation mark charity in chat, and then there's also exclamation mark donate. Any number, big or small, always helps. Raising money for a great cause.
So this very split segment of the game that you're going to see, there's another part where a lot of people can get stuck on, but we've managed to find a route that's pretty much instantaneous to get out of it.
So actually we removed the puzzle that people get stuck on. It's no longer part of all collectibles. We actually skip it 3 times. So we restart the next level 3 times. Because it's just faster. So the next level we are gonna start inside a building that has the building we start inside. And we can move that building around. And we are gonna use the living hell out of that building. So first we're going to do something that is intended. So we're going to grab the building, resize it. Then to unlock being able to use it, we have to go through it. Then we're going to resize the building, place it here to go grab a chess piece. And obviously, rather than backtracking out of here, it's just faster to reset the level.
This is highly unusual. It appears you have entered
So now we'll do the same thing again. So you're meant to put the building through the door we used to go through. But it should be slightly more smaller. That's probably good. But as mentioned, that'll get us locked in a 20-ish second wait time, and we'll have to walk a lot around the map. And it's easy to just put this building out of bounds. Just go like this. So when you put the building inside its own portal, as a softlock prevention method, it makes your size normal size again. And that for some reason works with any portal. So we can quickly resize and go through like this. There we go. And I should say, get your donations in, because unless we really mess up on the last part, we are slowly moving towards the end.
Speaking of donations, we
Yeah.
just got a donation in
Yeah.
from Pedro. Donate. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to work out the order of this. So Pedro donated $8.91 to a good cause, a good game, and respect to doing it all on a flight stick. Amazing. And then there was also a donation from I'm gonna actually butcher this name.
Don't worry, we've all done.
Eto in Wu donated $5. Message I Paradox. So we've now raised a total of $1,719.60.
So we're gonna throw the building outside, out of bounds again, just a different spot. Did I mess this up? I got lost. Let's try this again.
This is highly unusual. It appears appears you have entered the Superliminal diagnostic framework. Patients do not have access to this dream. Diagnostic warning. Unrealistic use of dream objects may result in
Jump
dream
up here.
fail state.
Place that out of bounds. There we go. That's better. So I'm gonna throw that there, which makes the building incredibly small, which we need it to be. Now we're gonna jump up here and put it inside that door over here. That was very close to me falling off, which would have been another reset. And there we go. That was the last chess piece, by the way. And last.
So there is multiple routes for this last part, all varying in difficulty, and even our top 3 runs, I think, have different routes from each other. So it's all personal preference, though there is some that are slightly faster for certain segments.
Yeah, so the last segment here is where like you can go with the really hard strat, which saves 20 seconds, or you can go with a slightly easier strat. And obviously, we are going for the hard strat. So we're going to use this building again. That's the other advantage of the hard strat, is we get to play around with this building again. So we are going to grab it and jump out of the building here, and then get launched up here by the wall. And then we're hopefully... This is, by the way, the final trick of the game. I think I got it first try.
Oh, shit.
I just need to land. No! So close. Ah, that would have been way too perfect. Come on, come on. Give me the launch. Damn it. So, the first few times I did this on with a flight stick, it ended up with me being here for 20 minutes. It doesn't happen like that anymore, hopefully. Really? Oh, that's twice. That hurts so much.
No.
That is actually one of the reasons why I was stuck here for 20 minutes once. It's just it's really hard to control your landing. But that's part of the fun.
Doesn't want to cooperate with you. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, but this time the building... Oh, it didn't fall down. Okay, yeah, well, time is coming up very soon then. I placed the building there. This level has a spatial end of level trigger, and we should have put the building on top of it. So yeah. Time is coming up when I click this alarm here, and time. So I'm quickly
Might have been a couple of seconds too late on the timer there. I do apologise.
It's fine. Like we use in-game time anyway, and there isn't a leaderboard for this. So.
Was it a new world record?
Well, there isn't a leaderboard, but yes, it is technically a world record by 1 minute and 36 seconds.
Happy days! Come on, guys. Pogs in chat for a world record. Don't matter that there isn't an actual category for it.
No, and I'm the only runner.
Doesn't matter. Shh, not tell people that.
Okay, so I'm quickly just gonna show that I hope nobody saw that. I definitely got all the collectibles. Did not miss one. And I know we hit the incentive for the outro, so I'm just gonna go back into the last level, and I'm gonna turn up the voice, and then just try and be quiet.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and by now you may have realized that all of this has happened exactly the way it was supposed to. You see, everyone who comes to the Institute does so because they feel that they are no longer in control of something important to them. But more often than not, the problem is not that the problems we face can't be solved. The problem is that we become so afraid of failure that we refuse to see our problems from a new perspective. And so we do the same things again and again and again. And therein, of course, we find exactly the failure we were looking for. Your life will always be a struggle, and you will always have problems. But today, you have the chance to see things differently. Even though it meant facing obstacles that seemed impossible at first, you thought outside the box, and you overcame them. Because you saw things from every angle, you understood them for what they really were. Because you kept moving forward, no matter how far off the path you were told you were headed, or how unexpected it became, you found your way. In a few minutes, you'll be back in the real world, and some part of you will say that none of this was real. So how could it have really meant anything? But just like the power of perspective itself, it will have been as real as you believed it to be. All you've got to do is wake up.
Quickly get $44. I'll showcase the collectible rewards and get the one I missed.
We do have time.
Yeah, I think I undershot that
Yeah.
that estimate by quite a bit.
What was the actual in-game time? Sorry, I didn't see it.
46:12.46.
Yeah, so we had 46:28 on the actual marathon clock. It's never going to be spot on accurate.
Wait, what? 46:28?
Yeah, that's what we've got on the timer on for the marathon. Yeah, 46:28.
Well, that's weird
So
because
I will just read the last donation that came in.
Go for it.
You'll never. I'm sure I've heard the guy before. I heard of the guy, but you know. So so this guy called Ostamate, I'm sure you've heard of him, donated $36.55. $50 Oz should compensate, raising a total of $1,756.15.
Thank you, Ostamate. It's awesome. I'm sorry I cost you a lot of money.
It's much
It's
appreciated,
alright.
dude.
Yeah. Damn it, I don't think I convinced people enough.
I can do half of it if someone else can do another half of it.
You know what, I can do the other half.
22, yeah? 22 each.
Yeah, 22 each. Okay. Let's see. That's the donate link.
Should have gone through.
And mine should have gone through. Okay, so it was cubism. I forgot. I know what I forgot. Oh. So we'll do it on flight stick. It's not really that fine to the level. Did I? 2 seconds. I'm just gonna try and see if I can fix my light split here.
And thank you for doing the other half. It's all for a great cause.
Oh yeah,
That's what
definitely.
it's all about.
Yeah, I was considering doing the full amount, but I realized that that was too much for me, sadly.
Unfortunately, it would be a little bit too much for me as well, but sometimes we do have to, we have to go out of our way just to help those in need. That
This is an automated message for all patients
definitely.
who attempted to
because there's a lot of people out there that are like, they don't have a lot of things that we take for granted.
use an alternate
Yeah, exactly.
pathway to access the next
Like,
phase
it's-
of Somnasculpt
it's important to make
but who have
the world a
been
better
trapped in a
place.
dream
Yeah,
state
teamwork
paradox
makes the
instead.
dream work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Corey just said in
36.
chat. It's a bit cringy and corny, but it's true.
Yeah, that should be all of them. So let's go through. Let's start with fire extinguishers and chess pieces. I should do it on Dollhouse because then I can show blueprints as well.
The dollhouse level was really, really dope. I thought that was
It's
awesome.
casually, it's an amazing level, but it's so terrible for speedrunning. So blueprints open these two rooms, so we can get and enjoy avocados, and the other one will explode. And we also get a voice line here.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and I'd like to discuss the assumption that secret or out-of-the-way locations ought to contain valuable knowledge instead of pipes filled with squandered human potential. They usually don't. If you think about it, they probably shouldn't. It's bad design.
But yeah, I absolutely adore this game. And if anyone's thinking about getting into speedrunning, I can really recommend the glitchless version of the glitches category of this game.
This is
Do
It's
they have
mostly
a Discord, I
movement.
take it?
reappeared
What?
on our monitoring system.
So the speedrunning community for this game, did they have their own Discord, or is it all
Yeah,
the developers' Discord?
We have a Discord which is linked on speedrun.com.
Prior to that.
Right, cool.
So fire extinguishers now do that when you've collected all of them. And all chess pieces unlock this computer, which will teleport us to the final level. Actually, second, the final
Welcome
actual
back,
level,
Dr. Pierce. It's
where
your
we can
move.
move some chess pieces. There's an achievement called Kasparov for doing it. So we've been talking about a potential New Game Plus category, which would obviously just result in getting to a computer and teleporting here. So it would not be very interesting.
It would be interesting to see how fast people could do it, and just the crazy stuff that people come up with to get there faster.
True.
It'd be
Like,
interesting to see how it would pan out.
like I was thinking about like the times for it, and it would actually be faster to do New Game Plus glitchlessly than it would be to do any percent without New Game Plus.
Damn.
And like New Game Plus or any percent is like a 6.5 minute category. So yeah, fire alarms give us like a water spray here, and the final part is the constellations, which allows us to move around in here and actually play around with the things we got as constellations.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn
There's a
Pierce.
room in here with like trophy and some loading parts. Sadly, we can't move them out here, so they stay. But everything we take in here and like resize as we want will now just be our permanent main menu. So we can actually customize our main menu. And yeah, that's all of the collectibles and what they give. And sadly, the obviously the collectible moving around here is not as interesting when you run all collectibles, because you like rarely keep that main menu for very long. And then we have like a small Easter egg there. Oh, I actually managed to have it land on the chair. Interesting. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
And thank you to Alstomate for the commentary.
Thanks for letting me commentate.
Of course.
You're both legends.
Well, you're legends for hosting this.
Yeah, so we love to put on events like this. It's really great, raising money for incredible causes. We are very happy with what we do, and we will continue doing them.
It's good to hear.
And hopefully continue to improve on doing them.
Yes. There will be a feedback coming out on our Twitter. If anybody has any suggestions, if you want to fill that out, it really does help us improve our events. So that'll be, I'll just do ! socials in chat. If you just follow our Twitter, I will post that on there very soon, probably in the next 24 hours. It really would mean the world if you're able to fill it out.
Sure.
It works for viewers, runners, commentators, everyone.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna fill out. Just promise me you get some sleep.
Yeah,
We're definitely gonna be getting some sleep soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up a quick video from Able Gamers about their foundation, and then we will go over to the credits and we will rate someone. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Hippie, for sending us out with a great run, and Ostomate for commentating on it, and Rain for hosting. We'll catch you all on the next one.
Yeah, take care, everyone.
Take care, guys, and peace out.
Bye.